All right, today we're going to tackle something huge, something that affects pretty much all of us, whether we know it or not. We're talking about how to tame the supernormal stimulus.
So let me ask you something. Do you ever just get this feeling that, well, that real life is kind of boring? A little flat?
Maybe you're watching a gorgeous sunset and you find your mind wandering. Or picking up a book just feels like this monumental effort. And a real conversation? Man, that can feel like actual work compared to just, scrolling. If any of that hits home, trust me, you are so not alone.
Okay, so let's get into the dullness of life. And here's the thing. This feeling, this sense that things are kind of gray, it's not some personal failure. It is a totally predictable response to the world we live in. A world that, yeah, has a lot of amazing stuff, but can also feel weirdly empty.
So, I really want you to hear this. You are not broken. Your brain is literally just doing what it's supposed to do. It's reacting to an environment that is just soaked in what you could call modern magic. These super intense engineered experiences that our poor ancient biology was just never ever built for.
So if our brains are just reacting, what are they reacting to? If we want to get back in the driver's seat, we have to name the monster. We have to identify the hijacker. And its name is the supernormal stimulus. So what the heck is that? Well, a supernormal stimulus is basically an exaggerated, souped-up version of something our brains already want. Think of it like this. Your brain is a lock, and the natural thing is the key. A supernormal stimulus is like a master key on steroids. It's a signal so loud and so bright that it completely hijacks our old-school instincts. And once you see this pattern, you see it everywhere. Right? Our brains evolved to crave the sugar in fruit, so we engineered candy and junk food. We evolved for real face-to-face connection, so we engineered the like button. We loved stories and music, so now we have infinite bingeable streaming. In every single case, we've basically created a supercharged version that makes the real thing look tiny by comparison.
And listen, it is so important to get this. These are not just simple temptations. No, they're way more sophisticated than that. What they really are biological hacks.
They're deliberately designed to short-circuit our brain's ancient reward system. And here's how they do it. They completely hijack your dopamine system. They give you this massive, unnatural reward, which then makes all the normal, everyday pleasures feel kind of meh. That is the real reason why life can start to feel so boring.
Okay, so what do we do about it? How do we fight back? Well, this brings us to the most powerful strategy of all. And spoiler alert, it is not about gritting your teeth and trying harder. It's about redesigning your world. Because, let's be real, your environment is always stronger than your willpower.
I love this quote. What is absent requires no willpower. Think about that. If the cookie isn't in the jar, you don't have to fight the urge to eat it. The battle's won before it even starts.
All right, let's get super practical. This is what I call the friction protocol. Number 1, the out-of-sight rule. Seriously, physical distance is your best weapon. Put your phone in another room. Get the junk food out of the house. Done. 2, increase activation energy. This just means making it harder to do the bad habit. Log out of your social media apps. Delete the shortcuts. Just that tiny little bit of extra effort is often enough to break the spell. 3, digital friction. Turn your phone to grayscale. I'm telling you, it's amazing how much less appealing Instagram is in black and white. And finally, number 4, use commitment devices. Set app timers that lock you out, or just tell a friend what you're trying to do. That accountability can be a game changer.
Okay, so changing your environment, that's huge, but it's only half the story. Now we got to talk about mastering your mind, the inner game. How you handle cravings when they pop up, and how you recalibrate your brain to enjoy normal life again.
So, a craving hits. What do? The trick is not to fight it. Instead, you're going to learn to surf the urge. Here's how it works. Step 1, notice. Just acknowledge, hey, there's a craving, with zero judgment. Step 2, observe. Get curious, like a scientist. What does it actually feel like in your body? Is your chest tight or your palms sweaty? Just watch it. And 3, detach. Understand that this is just a wave of sensation. It's going to get stronger, it's going to peak, and then if you just let it be, it's going to pass. I promise you, it always does.
And this leads to a really powerful shift in thinking. We are trained to hate boredom, right? To fill every single empty second with something. But I want you to start thinking of boredom as your friend.
It's not an empty space to be filled. It's actually a gateway. It's the path your brain has to walk down to remember how to appreciate normal, everyday life.
Now, one of the best ways to cross that gateway is with what's called a dopamine reset. It's simple. Just try to cut out all the non-essential media for like 24 to 48 hours. What this does is it gives your poor, overstimulated dopamine receptors a break. They get to upregulate, which is just a fancy way of saying they become sensitive again. And when you come back, you'll be amazed. A walk outside, a good conversation, these things will feel genuinely good again.
And that's really the whole point of this, isn't it? We're not trying to punish ourselves or become monks. This is all about reclaiming real, lasting pleasure. It's about turning up the resolution on life itself.
The secret weapon here is strategic substitution. You can't just take away the bad habits. You have to replace them. Think of it like food. Instead of the empty calories of social media scrolling, you have a nutrient-dense conversation. Instead of binge-watching, you try an analog hobby like cooking or playing an instrument. You swap passive consumption for active creation. These things provide a different kind of pleasure. It's slower, yeah, but it's way more satisfying and it lasts.
And please, don't aim for perfection here. That's a trap. The 80-20 rule is your best friend. Just aim for the good, natural stuff about 80% of the time. That leaves you 20% to enjoy the super normal stuff as a deliberate treat, not as your mindless go-to default. And as you go through this, you have to remember something crucial. You are not weak for struggling with this stuff. These stimuli are designed by armies of PhDs to be overwhelming, so be kind to yourself. Self-compassion isn't a cop-out, it's a strategy. It helps you break that shame spiral that just pushes you right back into the habit you're trying to kick.
You know, the ancient Stoics actually had a word for the end goal here. They called it ataraxia. It basically means a state of solid, unshakable calm, of being free from all the noise. And let me tell you, in our world of nonstop pings and engineered outrage, achieving that kind of inner peace, that is a legitimate superpower.
And all of this, all these strategies and mindsets, they lead to one thing, what we can call stimulus sovereignty. And this might just be the most important kind of freedom you can have today. It's the power to choose what gets your attention, your most precious resource.
So I'll leave you with this one last question to chew on. Right now, who's really in charge of your motivation? Is it you, or is it something else? And what could your life look like if you decided to take back the controls?